Alright, this is today's project. We have a 12-2 with a ground circuit here and a 20 amp square D QO double pole breaker. And the problem is that they just had a new water heater installed. Well, first let me show you what we'll have to do. We're going to replace the 12 gauge wire here with a 10 gauge wire, a 30 amp wire, and we're going to come across the wall here, across the top of the doorway, and up, and then into the next bay over in the ceiling. And then we're going to go all the way over to the end wall there. We might have to work around a beam up here going to that steel pole. We'll jump off that bridge when we get to it. So it's going to go up there above the door and then across and down here to the new water heater. So what is the problem? We have a 20 amp breaker with a 12 gauge wire, but the water heater is rated at 5,500 watts. And that requires a 30 amp wire. A 12 gauge wire is just not big enough. So let's take a look at the water heater that is replacing. And this is the old water heater, a little smaller, and apparently did not supply enough water, hot water, which is why they wanted to upgrade. And so there you see, this one is rated at 3,800 watts. That is acceptable for a 12 gauge wire. I'm just enjoying another rainy Seattle day. There's a truck, new engine's running great. I have 50 miles on the new engine. Okay. So let's shut the door here and head back over here. So we have to go from above the door here and across into the laundry room to get the wire to the water heater, and across the ceiling into the utility room and route it back on down to this breaker position. Okay, so that is the thing. When you replace an appliance like a water heater, you have to know what wiring is in place and what it's rated to be able to handle. The other issue they have is when they were investigating the breaker, they tried to shut off the main, and apparently the main will not shut off. It buzzes and smokes. So we're going to shut off the power. Power is just on the outside here. There's a meter box, and so the city power utility will come, pull off the meter, and then that will de-energize these wires, and we'll be able to just get a new breaker and pop it in. This is a relatively modern panel. Has a main breaker. It's not a split bus. And so that's what we're going to do. Put in a new breaker and change the main and run a new wire over to the water heater. So I will show you what we do as we do it. Stay tuned for more exciting water heater action. And this is the new breaker here, a 30 amp square D QO style breaker. Okay.